So with the recent Scarecrow reveal, it got me thinking. The community has been theorizing a long time about Scarecrow's appearance in Injustice 2 because he was a part of the leaked roster. And for people who don't know, the Scarecrow character actually died in the first series of the comics. It was actually issue number 2. And people thought, well, maybe he's gonna come back to life by Brainiac or something. But since then, the character page for Scarecrow has been revealed on the website, and it doesn't really seem to reference any type of resurrection. So people have been wondering how NetherRealm is going to explain Scarecrow's death in the context of the Injustice world. And I'm here to tell you that they don't need to. I don't think NetherRealm is going to have an explanation for Scarecrow being alive in this game at all. And the main reason for that is because, well, the comics didn't need to. Almost 5 years later in the context of the story, Scarecrow has an appearance. Scarecrow shows up when Nightwing is taking down a bunch of Gotham villains, and Scarecrow is among those villains. This was revealed to be a little bit of a misstep by the new writers of the comics who had forgotten Scarecrow's death in the second issue. So now we have this weird situation where the writers of the comics have deemed Scarecrow dead, then deemed him alive, but the video games have never had a concept of Scarecrow being dead or alive. He was a part of a stage transition in the first game, and that was really about it. Now, stage transitions are pretty much non-canonical, so you can't really say if he was dead or alive by looking at that. There is equal amount of evidence to suggest that in the context of the story, Scarecrow is alive or dead. And in all honesty, if I was NetherRealm, in my opinion, from my perspective, this continuity error is completely on the comic book writers. It is their burden to bear. It is up to them to explain why Scarecrow was alive in that sequence, and that's totally doable from a writer's perspective as well. When we have a universe like the DC universe, the comic book writers can really do anything to explain Scarecrow's death, but that explanation is going to be quite complicated, and therefore I don't think it's really suited for the video game, because again, most people who are going to be playing the video game didn't read the comics, so they probably don't even know that Scarecrow was dead. So from NetherRealm's perspective, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to explain that in the game. But the comic book writers, they kind of have a little bit of an obligation to explain it. Again, there's tons of explanations you could have in the context of the DC world. Just one of them is maybe Ra's al Ghul puts him in the Lazarus pit, and this whole time Scarecrow's been in hiding because of what he did to Lois Lane, or at least what his fear toxin did to Lois Lane. There you go, that's one explanation I just came up with as a random fan who has no experience with writing at all, so I'm sure the comic book writers can come up with an even better explanation than that. But regardless, the point I wanted to make in this video is that it's not on NetherRealm to explain this, it's on the comic book writers to explain this, because if you watched this story purely from the lens of NetherRealm, we have no idea if Scarecrow was ever dead or not, okay? Now, yes, the comic books are meant to link up to the game, but again, this error of continuity is completely on the comic book writers, so it's completely up to them to explain this away in the Injustice 2 comics. So don't expect that explanation in Injustice 2. That's just my opinion though. Maybe we will get an explanation, but my initial thought is that we won't. Anywho, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.